Eric, Seattle Fire is on track to break its record for responses this year, already handling more than 100,000 calls. They say when they head out from their fire stations, they're focused on that life or death emergency in front of them, but they say thieves are preying on them when their backs are turned. Seattle's Joint Fire Training Center on Myers Way is where firefighters come to prepare for the chaos they will see during emergencies. But their training ground has become a hunting ground for thieves. Theft reports obtained by KOMO News show this training center has been plundered for months. Thieves taking tools like chainsaws and welders, ransacking fire trucks, and even drilling into gas tanks to steal fuel from firefighters. In one case, plywood from the center was stolen and used to build structures in the nearby homeless encampment on state property.
It's brazen. It's just crazy how brazen they are as far as, taken from us.
Assistant Chief Chris Lombard says Seattle firefighters have noticed a disturbing trend over the last year.
We've had cars stolen, we've had tires slashed, we've had fuel tanks poked and drained.
While they're out trying to help patients or put out fires, thieves have broken into fire stations or taken tools right off their engines.
We have actually had several times where people were rummaging through our compartments and whatnot, where they were disrupted because people started yelling.
Seattle police found a stolen pair of firefighting tools known as the Jaws of Life next to this busted ATM in West Seattle.
Their priority is to save lives and protect your property.
Robert Miller consults for building security and works with fire departments nationwide. He says thefts have skyrocketed.
Every fire chief that I've worked with in the last few years, absolutely.
He says the high-quality tools that fire departments buy make them a prime target.
I can tell you right now, when our fire station at the local corner of my street's empty, not because I hear the fire truck, but because on Facebook, 100 people tell you about it. And when you have those people who are the opportunists looking for those simple, petty thefts.
In Seattle, firefighters have reported their stolen gear ending up in online classifieds within days of being taken.
They won't even scrape the labels off of it. It'll still say Ladder 9 or it'll still say Seattle Fire on it.
Assistant Chief Lombard says the department is adding security upgrades to fire stations like fencing and cameras. And he says their newer fire trucks have better anti-theft measures, but it will take years to update the fleet. Because you got to buy fire engines, you've got to buy equipment, you've got to staff personnel, and now there's this added expense of we also have to do more to protect our stuff.
You hit it right on. It's a great point. We want to be spending all of our resources on how can we better and faster serve the public. Now we're having to make these decisions as far as, well, okay, we got some security issues.
These crews really are in a predicament, but one thing Seattle Fire tells me they're doing now is on certain calls when they don't need the whole crew to go out of the station, they're leaving people behind simply to keep an eye on these fire stations. Reporting live downtown, Jeremy Harris, KOMO News.
Six first responders are asking you to keep an eye out on their fire stations. KOMO News has told you several fire agencies across western Washington say thieves are stealing their life-saving equipment. KOMO's Jeremy Harris is live in Kent with the latest sad example. So what are they taking, Jeremy?
Yeah, if you can believe it, they're taking things like defibrillators, the Jaws of Life, and these recent thefts have firefighters rethinking how secure their stations are. Firefighters work quick to save lives, but while they are away, thieves have been working quickly to rip them off.
We estimated the loss to be between $90,000 and $100,000.
Assistant Chief John Hedgers from Grace Harbor Fire District 1 says one of their stations was ransacked this week by thieves.
It's infuriating. I take it personal, and it's hard not to get upset when someone does something like this because they have no regard for anybody else.
In Kent, police say thieves broke into a fire facility and took firefighting and medical equipment from a vehicle. Armando lives close to this Kent fire station and says he's unfortunately not surprised. He says neighbors are keeping a close eye out on the station. Kent investigators say they had solid leads and made an arrest, recovering some of the stolen equipment. This year, other fire agencies, including Graham and Skagit County, had the same thing happen.
I think a lot of these small rural departments are easy targets.
Assistant Chief Hedger says for a rural volunteer department, losing $100,000 in equipment isn't just an inconvenience, it could cost someone their life.
I think for people like this, they're looking for the easy, quick score. They don't think about the ramifications on down the line.
Grays Harbor Fire tells me this afternoon that other fire departments in the area have stepped up and are loaning them equipment while they figure out what to do after these thefts. We did reach out to Kent Police today. They said there's still an active investigation, but they have made some arrests, and they expect more information to be available soon. Reporting live in Kent, Jeremy Harris, KOMO News.